Oddworld Soulstorm has been announced to be releasing on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and PC via the Epic Games Store. But that leaves a lot of questions that people have. Mainly, is it coming to Xbox? Well, firstly, the PlayStation upload of the Oddworld Soulstorm PS5 trailer revealed that the game will be exclusive to PlayStation for a limited time, which suggests eventually it will be open to being released on the Xbox, but nothing has been confirmed or even mentioned yet. Another hurdle that's potentially in the way is that Microsoft have a rule that game developers need to have a publisher in order to release games on Xbox. However, they have got a program known as ID at Xbox, I'm guessing that stands for Independent Developers at Xbox, which developers are able to apply to in order to self-publish their games on Microsoft platforms. Just Add Water applied to it and got accepted, which is why New and Tasty got released on the Xbox One. Just for reference, it got released on the PS4 in July 2014 and it got released on the Xbox One in March 2015, so there was a gap between the releases. Just Add Water of course aren't involved with Oddworld Soulstorm, other than the breakaway fat KRAKEN development team, so this is all down to Oddworld Inhabitants now. Now I'm not sure if Oddworld Inhabitants have applied to be a part of the program, but I imagine that Lorne Lanning, from that experience with New and Tasty, likely already has connections and somewhat of a good relationship with ID at Xbox. He did say that the talks went positively with them back then, which clearly it did because New and Tasty made it to Xbox One. And ultimately there's not really any good reason Microsoft wouldn't want Oddworld Soulstorm on the Xbox Series X. And it would obviously benefit and be a good sign for Oddworld Inhabitants to have it on all of the next generation consoles. So eventually it could happen and I certainly hope it does. I remember back in the early 2010s when Just Add Water was doing all this stuff and I couldn't play any of it because I had an Xbox 360 and they were releasing it all on the PlayStation 3 and then 4. So I definitely sympathise with people who aren't able to play games because they haven't got the platforms they're on. So I really hope it ends up getting released on the Xbox. Another question people have is, will it be coming to Steam or other PC platforms other than the Epic Games Store? The answer, much like with the Xbox, is we don't know yet. There are games that used to be exclusive to the Epic Store that have now been released on other platforms. In fact, just today as I write this, a game called Mortal Shell has been announced as an Epic Games exclusive but will be released on Steam a year after it's released. So it's possible the same will be the case with Soulstorm, but then again I do wonder why they wouldn't announce that straight away if that was the case with Oddworld Soulstorm, if it was a timed exclusive. But even if the Epic deal with Oddworld Soulstorm wasn't a timed exclusive, I still think potentially that it could eventually release outside of the Epic Games Store. I know it's not the same situation, but Oddworld Munch's Odyssey, of course, was released as an Xbox exclusive, yet now you can play it on PlayStation 3 and PC. It took a long time, but hopefully it wouldn't take that long for Soulstorm, in this gaming industry that probably moves much faster than it did 20 years ago. I certainly think Oddworld Inhabitants would like to try, eventually, to get it released on as many platforms as they can. Doing that sort of thing definitely benefits them. I mean, they only just a few months ago released Oddworld Munch's Odyssey on the Switch. That's a game that's nearly 2 decades old. So we'll have to wait and find out what happens with it. Currently the game is getting released on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and the Epic Games Store, but who knows what the future holds for Oddworld Soulstorm.
Hello, follow me. Hee hee hee.